Hi, I'm Sam Granger, the creator of Adaptalux, and this is a walkthrough of the Adaptalux Lighting Studio product. The studio itself, it's split into three main elements. You have the control pod, the lighting arms, and the filters. And to begin this walkthrough, I'm going to begin with the control pod features. So here we have the control pod, and it's mounted to the stabilizer. The pod has a rechargeable battery built into it, and it lasts up to 10 hours depending on how many lighting arms you have plugged into it. And it can be charged through USB, which you can plug in through the back. It can also be directly powered through USB, so if you're using it in a studio condition like this, you can just power it all day without having to worry about the batteries. It can also be mounted to a camera, it can be mounted to tripods, gorilla pods, or the stabilizer itself, so it gives you loads of options in terms of how and where you want to use the products. The pod also has brightness control, which utilises these three buttons on top. It can support up to 5 lighting arms, and it also has a Bluetooth chip built into it, so you can control it through your smartphone, but we'll cover that in a bit. The lighting arms come in 5 different colours. We have red, amber, blue, green and white, and each lighting arm has a dedicated LED chip built into the end of it. Every lighting arm is fully flexible, so you can control the lighting direction really precisely, and you also have beam angle control, which I'll come on to in a minute. To connect a lighting arm, you simply line it up with the ports, you'll feel a magnet pull it in, you give it a slight twist and it will lock in and the light will come on, and then you just bend the lighting arm until you're happy with the light falling on the subject. I'm going to add a white one to this as well. So bring that onto the side here. The great thing about using LEDs is you can see exactly what's happening at all times, using your eye or through the viewfinder, so you don't have to keep taking loads of photos. And beam angle control, so this red here is filling quite a lot of the background, so I'm going to simply screw this and you can see the red spot getting smaller, so I'm just going to focus it on that chain there to create an interesting background to the photograph. So I'm just going to check that. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Brightness control is controlled using these 3 buttons on the pod. Simply tap the top button, you see the white pulsing. I can now dim that by holding the button to the left. That flash indicates I've now decreased that to 0%, or I can bring it back up by holding the button on the right, and it will flash in a second, and we now know that's in full power. So I'm going to bring that down a bit more actually, to around there. Tap this top button again to move on to your next light connected, and I'm going to make the red quite powerful so you get some strong vodka in the background. Let's check that. Yep, that looks really cool. And then as you saw, it was flashing for about 3 seconds. You just leave it for those 3 seconds and it will save the settings you've just adjusted it to. So onto the filters. So we've got standard clear diffusers. We've got grades 1 to 3, 1 being most transparent and 3 being least transparent. Then we've got 6 colour filters, which give a soft colour to your photograph, as opposed to a dramatic colour, which the lighting arms give. And the great thing about these colour filters too, you can mix and match them with different coloured lighting arms. So you can cross a green one with a blue lighting arm to create like a purple shade. And to attach these, you simply snap a red one. All magnetic again. They just snap on like that. And you can create interesting shadows with them, so I'll take a photo of that, so that looks quite cool. Okay, so in addition to the manual lighting control I've just shown you using Adaptalux Lighting Studio, you can also use Bluetooth, which is built into the control pod. So to use Bluetooth, you have to download the Adaptalux app off the Apple App Store. We're going to be releasing it on Android hopefully later this year, and The great thing about this is I can set up my subject, compose my lighting, and then I do not need to touch the subject or lighting again, which means you won't accidentally knock anything or ruin your photograph. So you open the app, you hit the plus symbol, you hit connect to control pods, you hold the button on top of the pod until it appears on the phone. Give it a minute, there you go. And then you tap that, and then tap pod. So what that's done, it's now synced the brightness settings from the pod to my phone. So you can see we've got a white lighting arm on and a green arm on, and you can see through this live viewfinder exactly what's going on when I make the changes wirelessly. So I'm going to take the green off, so it's just white, and I'm going to bring in the amber colour. So all you do is just drag it in, or you can be more precise and tap this. If I don't want amber, I can bring in blue, or I can bring in red, or I can go crazy and add loads of different subtle colours in, so I have a green background and a purpley effect for mixing the blue and red lighting arms. In addition to this, you can then save these setups so you can use them at a later date by just uploading them back to the pod. So all I'd have to do is plug them 5 lighting arms in, connect to the pod, use this lighting profile which I saved, and it would instantly sync them brightness settings. To close the pod connection, go back to manual mode, just hit close pod connection, and then you hold the top button down until one of the lighting arms pulses. If you want to change your lighting setup, or you're finished and you're happy with the photographs you've produced, to remove the colour filters, you simply just pull them off like that. You're just going against the magnetic power, it's really easy. And the lighting arms, again, you just pull straight out like this. And then the control pod will automatically go into sleep mode. So that's a quick overview of the Adaptalux Lighting Studio. You can find out more by visiting our website, and thank you for watching.